Stratyn. Stratyn Ukrainian Stratyn, Yiddish Stratyn Stretin is a village and rural municipality in western Ukraine. It lies in Ivano-Frankivsk, Raion of Ivano-Frankivsk Oblast of Ukraine, in the center of the historic area of Halychyna, Galicia, Galizien Galicia, formerly in Austrian Empire 1772–1918, Poland 1365–1772, 1918–1930. The current population is 561 inhabitants. The old name of the village was Striatyn. Stratyn belongs to Rohatyn urban hromada, one of the hromadas of Ukraine. Geography. Stratyn used to be a town, and it had two parts which were usually referred as Stratyn Silo/Stratyn, the village Stratyn Wise in Polish, and Stratyn Mista/Stratyn the city Stratyn Miasto. There was a Rathos city council in Stratyn during Austrian times. Stratyn is Russian name of the village, which is found on some maps from the Soviet period 1939, 1941, 1944, 1991, while Stratyn is the Ukrainian and Polish name of this village. In Yiddish its name was Stratyn/Stratyn, hence the Yiddish adjective forms Stratiner, 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 Stratiner. The village is situated in the valley of a small river or brook, surrounded by forests and fields. In 1932, when Stratyn was part of Poland during 1918–1932, the town status of Stratyn was cancelled by the order of the Minister of Internal Affairs of Poland September 9, 1932. Prior to this order, Stratyn had just 373 inhabitants 1921, and at the time was the smallest town in the entire Ivano-Frankivsk Stanislaw province. Nowadays, Stratyn is a large village, about 12 km from the district center of Rohatyn. Nearby locations: Rohatyn, district center, Regiony city, 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 City. Fukiv, village. Lapushnia, village. Kidvisok, village. Church, village and spa resort. Lviv, the largest city in western Ukraine. Ukraine, 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 Ukraine. Ukraine, 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 Ukraine. History. In this village around 1600, there was opened one of the first printing houses in Ukraine. The printers who used to work here included Hedian Balaban, Pavlo Burinda, one of the first printers on Ukrainian lands. It was namely in 1599 that the third print shop in Ukraine was founded in the village of Stratyn, and another was established in the village of Krylos, near Halychyna. There is monument to the Ukrainian writer Taras Shevchenko in Stratyn. The last was erected quite recently, after the collapse of Soviet system. Until 18 July 2020, Stratyn belonged to Rohatyn Raion. The Raion was abolished in July 2020 as part of the administrative reform of Ukraine, which reduced the number of raions of Ivano-Frankivsk Oblast to 6. The area of Rohatyn Raion was merged into Ivano-Frankivsk Raion. Jewish community. Stratyn had a Jewish community that gave name to the Stratiner Hasidic dynasty. At the Jewish cemetery of Stratyn, there is a grave chapel of Stratyn Tzaddik, of so-called Stratiner Chassids. Chapel was erected quite recently, with efforts being led by our Aaron Yaakov Brandween, the previous Stratiner Rebov Borough Park, with much help from the Lviv Jewish community by Melech Shakit. In the adjacent table, it is written in Ukrainian to the local village people to honor the place of Jewish righteous tzaddiks who will pray for you. To restore these grave monuments of Hasidic tzaddiks, it took much effort and diligence, as they were deep underneath in the ground already. Prayer books in Hebrew printed in Israel are available in the chapel. The most known Stratyn Hasidic rabbis were Rabbi Avraham of Stratyn, Rabbi Yehuda Tzvi Zui of Stratyn, Yuda Zvi de Stretin in Spanish. He was called the Sage of Stratyn also, and the Holy Admor or Moshe of Stratyn.